This is Glenn Hughes, the voice of rock.
Hey everybody, this is Pat Torpy from Mr. Big.
And you're listening to Music Mania.
Good evening! Welcome to our show!
I want you to want me. The Dream Police. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Your mama's alright, your daddy's alright, but just seem a little bit weak.
Scream for me, Brazil! Scream for me, Brazil! So let's rock and roll all night, the party every day!
In the words of AC/DC, we roll tonight to the guitar bite. And for those about to rock, I salute you.
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, brought to you by CD Warehouse in Gladstone, the #1 hard rock podcast in the Midwest, featuring hard-hitting interviews with rock's living legends. And now, here is your host, Clint Switzer.
You are listening to the Music Mania podcast, and thank you so much for doing so. I am your host, Clint Switzer, and I'm out on the road this week, so recording the podcast from my trip that's going to Colorado. I'm going to be heading to Denver, down into Colorado Springs, the Four Corners, New Mexico, doing a little road trip. It's what I do in the summers, and believe it or not, there is no concert involved in this trip. Usually when I hit the road, there's always a show to go to. I really wanted to hit up a show at Red Rocks Amphitheater, but literally while I'm here in the Denver area, there is not a concert at all going on there. So I'm fresh out of luck on concerts, but I'll tell you what, it has been an unbelievable high-octane summer for us. Hitting the road, lots of shows, lots of interviews. Of course, you heard our interview with Ted Nugent last week, one of the biggest ones we've ever done, and the feedback was incredible. I know some people may not like Ted, may not like his politics. That's a given, that happens, but you know what? One of the great rock and roll guitarists of all time, one of the great rhythm players, and just the passion that he exudes. Just to have to match his energy in an interview. The guy's done radio, he has a podcast out, so to be able to match that, to try to match that, I guess, was difficult enough. I was actually kind of nervous about that going in, and I don't get nervous a lot doing as many interviews as I do, but it was really exciting to do it. And here on the road, from my Colorado trip here, going to be welcoming Lorraine Lewis. She is the former singer from Femme Fatale. She is the current singer from Vixen. She joined the girls in January, and she's doing a fantastic job. I just caught the Vixen show here in Edgerton, Kansas, about a month ago, and it was great to see the girls in action. Lorraine Lewis is a perfect fit for them. She was tremendous in Femme Fatale. They released only one album back in the 80s. I was always a huge fan of License to Drive with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. And they had a couple songs on that, notably Waiting for the Big One. I always loved that Femme Fatale song. So her kind of bringing that flair into the Vixen world. Of course, former singer Janet Gardner decided to leave the band and kind of pursue a solo thing. So the ladies are still rocking on. We had Cher Ross from Vixen on this podcast not long ago. We've had Roxy Petrucci on twice. So, you know, this is a very Vixen heavy podcast. We've definitely done our share of Vixen interviews, and we love to do it. Lorraine Lewis is hilarious and funny. I taped this interview a couple weeks ago, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. She's just super cool. She's also a casting agent out in Hollywood, and we're going to talk about that. Like, she's always casting for these weird reality shows. Like, if you have giant warts or your feet are a mess, she wants you to contact her and try to get on these reality shows. She always has something coming up. But before we get to our interview with Lorraine Lewis, got to tell you about our sponsor, CD Warehouse in Gladstone, Missouri. Guys, for over 22 years, a staple of the Northland. They buy, sell, and trade CDs, DVDs, vinyl, memorabilia, and more. Do not let the vibe of the old school record store go by the wayside. Give them a visit off Antioch Road today. Tell them Music Mania sent you, and there will be a discount, or it's on us. Louder Than Life, America's premier 3-day rock festival, comes to Louisville's Hiley Festival grounds at the KY Expo Center, September 27th through 29th, starring Guns N' Roses, Slipknot, Disturbed, Rob Zombie, Godsmack, Marilyn Manson, Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, Hailstorm, and many more. Single day and weekend passes are available now at louderthanlifefestival.com. Experience it live. Lorraine, it's Clint Switzer from Music Mania. How are you doing, ma'am?
Clint, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing amazing, Lorraine, because this interview is years in the making. You've been like our unicorn, and it's finally happened. How are you doing? What's up?
I'm great. It's so ridiculous that it took this long to have this happen. I so apologize. I am a lunatic, obviously.
We won't blame you. You know, I think we went through every member of Vixen, every former member of Femme Fatale, and but since we got to you, but now we're rounding it out. This is great, and I just got to see you guys just last week with the ladies in Vixen, and what a show it was in Edgerton, Kansas. What's it been like for you? You officially joined the band in January. It's been a few months, some shows under your belt. What's it been like out there with the ladies so far?
Well, gosh, first of all, I'm so honored and excited to be a part of Vixen. You know, they are a staple in rock and roll and metal and, you know, chicks that rock. So I'm super honored to be with them, and to even be asked to step in was just a great honor. So I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job, and hoping that I'm doing the songs justice, etc. Definitely loving being with the girls. You know, I have history with the girls for sure. I go way back with them, and you know, we were all getting record deals around the same time, back from the Sunset Strip days. So, you know, it's just amazing to go full circle and then be able to hang out with these girls 30 plus years later, and I feel like it's a big slumber party every time we're together. Well, so yeah, super fun.
You could tell you guys are having a blast. You're doing just an amazing job, and it's clear that this version of Vixen is what is going to carry the day on into the future. Was it an easy process? Was it kind of one of those deals? Because, well, for one, Lorraine, I was at the show, happened to be at the show down in Oklahoma back in 2018 where you stood in. Was it kind of just one of those deals like, hey, you did the one-off show with them, and it's like, hey, Janet's kind of looking to move on, do her own thing. Was it as easy as that? And just come on in and let's do this? Or was there some real talks from Vixen about maybe not continuing?
Well, as far as I know, Vixen, you know, being Cher and Roxy at this point, the original members, they never want it to end. So they were definitely looking to the future and, okay, what are we going to do if Janet fails, if Janet decides to do something different? So they, you know, it was kind of a teaser for me doing the Oklahoma show, and I really enjoyed it so much. I mean, it was kind of one of those things where it was 2 weeks in the making. They called me 2 weeks before they went on the Monsters of Rock Cruise 2018 and said, hey, you know, Janet might not be doing this show. Would you be able to do it with us? And, you know, because she had the aneurysm. And, you know, I said, look, let me look at the material. I definitely want to help you guys out. You know, Janet sings a lot higher than I do naturally. Janet sings, she's got an angelic voice, and I'm a little bit lower vocally and a little bit more rasp and just a little bit different kind of a singer. And so I was a little nervous, to tell you the truth. I was like, oh, dang, how am I going to take over for Janet Gardner? And so I really did my homework. I really spent a lot of time with the songs because I really wanted to do the best job that I could do, and learned them all and did the Oklahoma show. And it, you know, all in all, with no rehearsals or anything, it came off without a hitch. So that was the beginning. That kind of set the groundwork for the possibility of working together in the future. But I wasn't really thinking that anything more was going to come out of it. I just thought, oh, this is a one-off, and that's it. So then when they contacted me in January and said, you know, it looks like Janet might be leaving, what do you think about joining Vixen? And I was, number one, over the moon excited, and then again, nervous as all hell, because I'm like, oh my God, again, I'm not Janet Gardner, I'm Lorraine, and I know how to sing like Lorraine. So, you know, I definitely do my best to honor the songs and do my best to sound, you know, give the songs Janet's flavor, but it's still Lorraine singing Janet Gardner. It's not, you know, and that's just the truth. So I really hope that I'm doing the best job that, you know, I know that I'm doing the best job that I can. I hope that the fans what I'm doing. And then we're looking to get some new music together so that it's a merger of the two camps, basically, Femme Fatale and Vixen, and adding Brit. And we're going to be a whole different machine once that starts as well, with still honoring the Vixen sound. That was a
Yes.
long answer.
I love it, and you're doing just a tremendous job. We talked to Cher a couple weeks ago on the podcast, and about the idea of new music. Can't wait for that. And not only that, but we talk about what you're bringing to the band. You're also able to perform some of your Femme Fatale hits, which is awesome to hear. Waiting for the Big One, Falling in and Out of Love. Waiting for the Big One is like one of my favorite songs of all time. I remember hearing it on the soundtrack. For what was the Corey Haim movie?
License to Drive.
It was on License to Drive. And you had two songs actually on that soundtrack, and to hear, and so you're able to bring that in. What's that been like for you? Able to bring some of your Femme Fatale songs into the Vixen set?
Again, super flattered, super honored that they even brought it up. I was not going to push the issue at all. I mean, I'm stepping into Vixen. This is Vixen's deal. This is Vixen's show. This is, Vixen is the forefront of women in rock. I mean, aside from the Runaways, this is the only all-female band that I ever knew of was Vixen. So I'm definitely stepping into their camp and want to honor their camp as best as I can. And at the same time, I'm just flattered that they want to do a couple of Femme Fatale songs, and they were hit songs, so it's really a cool thing to be able to have Vixen. I turn and I look and I see Cher rocking out to Waiting for the Big One, and I hear Roxy on drums with those fills, and it's effing awesome to see them and to have them playing those songs. They play them impeccably, and I just feel really, really happy. It feels really good, and Britt doesn't miss a lick. She's an amazing guitar player. All of the solos, like from the Vixen song, she's nailing, and she does the same thing with the Femme Fatale song. So it's very, very cool to have Vixen performing Femme Fatale. It's very cool.
Well,
and I don't think that people knew that was going to happen. So it's kind of a surprise when you come to a show.
It's awesome. You kind of put Femme Fatale to rest here back in February. I think you did a last show at the Monsters of Rock cruise. What was that like for you emotionally? Because you put Femme Fatale back together back in 2013, and you've had some amazing players with you. Nita Strauss, Courtney Cox, Iron Maiden's chicks, who are amazing, and of course Nita Strauss has gone on. Like, what did you see in Nita, and did you kind of foresee that she would have this unbelievable career that kind of she's gone on to have?
Well, all of the Femme girls are complete magic and rock stars. I mean, they're all in their own right, just amazing women, amazing talented women, and they all sparkle in their own way. So when we were together as a band, I mean, I felt like, gosh, my band is so kick-ass. Everybody is so good, vocally great, note for note, amazing, great energy. With Nita in particular, I mean, when I first met Nita and Courtney and asked them to be a part of Femme, we met at a Starbucks, and it was top secret because Monsters of Rock Cruise had asked Femme Fatale to play, and I realized I didn't have a band anymore. So I really wanted it to be all female, and I got the best female guitar players in LA, and that is definitely was Courtney Cox and Nita Strauss. On stage, they were amazing from the get-go, and the energy that they emulate, like we all just kind of would outdo each other. It's like, oh, Nita, you did that. Well, wait to see what I'm going to do. I mean, you jumped on that, I'm going to jump on this, and it just kind of, we all fed off of each other and just kept taking it to another level. So I definitely see sparks and rock stars in all of them. Nita has been able to, obviously jump on board with Alice Cooper and take things to a whole nother level. I'm super proud of her. She's always a Femme Fatale, original in my book. And I love all the girls just so much. But yeah, I'm very, very proud of Nita. She's definitely done amazing things with their career. And, Courtney's doing something similar, and also Nikki Stringfield. So, like I say, all of the girls in Femme Fatale, all effing talented, all rock stars. Whatever they touch turns to gold, and I am honored that I got the time that I did with them. They're amazing.
Well, Lorraine, we got to talk a little bit about kind of your career outside of music, because in LA, you also are a casting agent, and you know what? We're trying to find a role for me on one of these shows. You know what? I don't have horrendous, nasty feet, and I'm not in a discrete interracial age gap relationship, but we're going to find something for me, Lorraine. Talk about your life outside of music there.
Yes, again, I am one lucky bitch. Let's just say that. Let's just get that. I am definitely lucky. I work really hard, but I'm really lucky that I am able to, have this amazing career in television, which began originally in 2009, 2010 with a show that I created with a couple of other people called Ex-Wives of Rock that got picked up by Slice Network and Access about ex-wives of rock stars from the 80s. And that really started it for me. That show was 54 episodes, 3 seasons deep. I was an executive producer on the show, and that really cut my teeth in television. And I knew that I wanted to still work in television after that was over, and was able to jump on board with an amazing company called Renegade 83. You might know them from their hit show Naked and Afraid on Discovery. It's a survival show. So now we're talking. Now we're going to get you on Naked and Afraid.
That's what it's going to be after all that. Wow, I don't know. That's
the show for you.
Oh my gosh.
That's the show. So yes, I basically I leave my amazing husband and dogs in the morning, and I go to the office at Renegade 83 in Studio City, and I work 10 to 6 every day, and I'm casting shows. So I'm always looking for great talent because I'm still developing shows on the side, and then we cast these shows about 6 to 8 weeks per show, and then we move on to the next one. So there's always something new and exciting coming across my desk. And what can I say? Life is good. After that, then I might hit up a rehearsal room with Britt, or get into the studio and do some writing with her. And life is good. I'm really lucky. Yeah,
I love it.
I like where I'm at.
Your life, I want your life, Lorraine. And my girlfriend Abby, who you met last week, is sitting in on this interview with me, and you talked about Naked and Afraid, and she looked over here like, really, Clint? I'd have to work on the 6-pack.
You can do a couple things. First of all, let me say hi, Abby. You're beautiful and you're amazing, and I think you guys as a couple are super cool. So let's get you guys on the show as the Naked and Afraid new couple that's gonna just take everybody for their money.
Well, hey, I'm in on anything. I'll try anything once, Lorraine. We got to look at next time we're in LA. We come out at least once a year. We gotta come out and say hi next time we're out there.
Oh, definitely. Let's get together and we'll go to the Rainbow together and hang out on the Sunset Strip. Let's do it.
I literally, yeah, exactly. Abby'd never been there, and I took her to the Rainbow the last time we were there, and she's like in awe. She loves all the Sunset Strip bands, and so we got to get the picture with Lemmy's statue and all that. So she's, it's for some Missouri people, going out there is pretty cool, Lorraine. So we'll come out and see it for sure. Before we let you go, we got to talk about, you guys got some more dates coming up throughout the summer with Vixen, of course, and you're going to be at this really cool deal. Your next show is the Colorado Freedom Festival with Queensryche Extreme, Great White, Steelheart. You guys, what's it like when you do shows like this with all these other bands? These are your contemporaries from the 80s, people that you ran around with, that you had probably toured with, had a lot of memories with. What's it like, when you're on shows like with some of these other bands, and especially this one coming up, Colorado Freedom Festival, June 29th?
Yeah, we're really, really happy, excited, feel lucky as all hell that people dig what we do, number one. And I think that the other bands from the era feel the same way. The fact that we can fill seats, in 2019 is pretty exciting for all of us. We don't take it for granted. We don't take it lightly. Look, are we perfect every show? No, we're definitely not perfect every show, but we love it that people care and they dig the songs, and we want to put on the best show that we can for everybody. It's amazing to see bands like Queensryche still having an amazing career. Latore is an amazing singer, and was actually at our first show and gave me the stamp of approval. And, he was like, girl, you're fucking killing it. And I was like, am I? Because I don't know, because I can't tell, because I'm just kind of nervous, and I kind of blacked out 5 minutes ago. So I don't know. So it's really cool to get a high five from our peers and encourage each other. It's definitely a family. It's definitely a gang we're a tribe for sure. there's no weird backbiting or anything with any band. You know, I love watching the bands, and I encourage everybody to just keep kicking ass. Colorado's going to be great. You can go to vixenofficial.com and see all the other dates. We're basically weekend warriors for quite a few months going forward. And then there's some talk about maybe some European dates in November or December. And then we'll see what 2020 brings. You know, let's keep the Vixen machine alive and well, and let's have some fun. We're going to write some new music for the fans, and we're all love. We're just all love. Thank you, everyone, for caring about what we do and for rocking and rolling with us at the shows, singing the songs, putting your fists up in the air. We live for that shit. Thank you.
Lorraine, that is so well said. We just think the world of you. Thank you so much for coming on with us and doing this. It has been a pleasure. I mean, it is literally, you've been our Music Mania podcast unicorn for years, and it's finally happened. We've got you in the archives, and we can't wait to see you guys out there. We will find you. Abby and I will find you somewhere in 2020. You can count on that, Lorraine. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the shows.
Thank you so much.
Put your fists up in the air and come and say hello.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Lorraine. Big thanks to Lorraine Lewis for joining us. Absolute pleasure. Got to meet her after the Edgerton, Kansas show. She's such a delight. She's just a great person, great singer. It's a perfect fit in Vixen. It's hard to replace Janet Gardner, great singer. But Vixen lives on, and it's very important to them that they do so, kind of honoring their founding member and guitarist Jan Kuhneman. So always great to catch up with those ladies. So the rest of the summer, we've got an interview with Axel Rudi Pell, German guitar wizard, coming up. Can't wait for that. So much more. Got a lot of big shows coming up. I've got Alice Cooper and Hailstorm, Bush and Live coming up, Bryan Adams, Billy Idol going to be hitting the road for that. So a lot more coming up. Some interviews definitely going to be being recorded soon. We always appreciate you hitting that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play Music, and Spotify, and leaving us the feedback. We always love that. Hit us up on our Twitter, Facebook. Just search for Music Mania Podcast. You'll find us on all the social medias. We always appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week with Axel Rudi Pell.